In the heart of the bustling city, where the rhythmic pulse of life harmonized with the cacophony of urban existence, Detective Alex Reynolds found solace in the quiet moments of investigation. His office, perched on the top floor of the precinct, offered a panoramic view of the city skyline, a sight that seemed incongruous with the chaos that often unfolded on the streets below. Detective Reynolds was not just a man in pursuit of justice, he was a connoisseur of details, an aficionado of the subtle nuances that whispered secrets only to those attuned to their language. His sharp eyes, which had witnessed the ebb and flow of countless cases, now focused on a new puzzle, a perplexing case that had the city gripped in fear. The crime-ika multimillionaire, known for his philanthropy and seemingly unblemished reputation, was found dead in his opulent mansion. The circumstances surrounding his demise were shrouded in mystery, and the initial investigations yielded more questions than answers. As Detective Reynolds delved into the labyrinth of clues and red herrings, he knew that unraveling this enigma required not just diligence but a deep understanding of the human psyche. The mansion, the crime scene, was a study in contradictions. The mansion, with its sprawling gardens and state-of-the-art security systems, seemed impervious to any external threat. Yet, within the lavish walls, a sinister event had unfolded, casting a shadow over the once joyful halls. The victim's body lay in a room adorned with priceless art, the very walls witnessing a tragedy that defied the opulence surrounding it. The characters, as Detective Reynolds interviewed the mansion's occupants and the victim's associates, a cast of characters emerged, each with their own motives and alibis. The widow, a woman of elegance and poise, presented a facade that hinted at both grief and secrecy. The business partners, whose fortunes were intricately tied to the deceased, had motives that extended beyond mere financial gain. The butler, a stoic figure with a lifetime of loyalty, held the keys to the mansion's secrets, but his allegiance was shrouded in a silence that bordered on complicity. The clues, Detective Reynolds combed through the crime scene meticulously, gathering fragments of evidence that painted a mosaic of deception. A torn letter, hidden in the victim's study, hinted at clandestine dealings. A missing painting, seemingly inconspicuous, held the key to a web of lies. The security footage, initially dismissed as irrelevant, revealed subtle movements that contradicted the alibis provided by the suspects. The psychological chess game. As the investigation progressed, Detective Reynolds found himself engaged in a psychological chess game with the prime suspects. Each interview became a strategic move, an attempt to elicit truths concealed beneath layers of deception. The widow's composed facade began to crack, revealing the vulnerability beneath. The business partners, accustomed to wielding power, found themselves ensnared in a net of scrutiny. The butler, stoic as ever, began to exhibit subtle signs of unease, betraying the cracks in his seemingly impervious demeanor. The red herrings. In the world of detective work, red herrings were as ubiquitous as shadows in the night. False leads and misleading information threatened to divert Detective Reynolds from the true path of enlightenment. A clandestine affair, a rival business deal gone sour, and even a past indiscretion, all appeared as plausible motives, weaving a tapestry of deception that obscured the underlying truth. The breakthrough. Just as the investigation teetered on the edge of ambiguity, a breakthrough emerged. A forgotten diary, hidden in the depths of the victim's personal library, contained entries that unraveled a tale of betrayal and revenge. The seemingly benevolent millionaire had skeletons in his closet, and those seeking retribution had orchestrated a plot that culminated in the fatal event that had shaken the city. The confrontation, armed with newfound knowledge, Detective Reynolds confronted the suspects in a climactic showdown that echoed through the hallowed halls of the mansion. Accusations flew, alliances shattered, and the truth emerged from the ashes of deception. The widow, burdened by secrets and remorse, confessed to orchestrating the plot to avenge a past injustice. The business partners, entangled in a web of greed and betrayal, realized the consequences of their actions. The butler, torn between loyalty and morality, grappled with the revelation of his employer's dark past. The resolution, as justice unfolded its wings, the city sighed in relief. Detective Reynolds, weary yet fulfilled, closed the case that had tested the limits of his investigative prowess. The mansion, once a symbol of opulence, now stood as a monument to the fragility of human relationships. The city, with its pulse restored, continued its relentless march forward, leaving behind the echoes of a detective's pursuit of truth. Epilogue: Detective Reynolds returned to his office, the city skyline witnessing the cyclical nature of life and justice. The phone rang, a new case awaited, another mystery to unravel. As he embarked on a fresh investigation, Detective Reynolds knew that the world of crime was a labyrinth with no end, and he, a tireless seeker of truth, was destined to navigate its twists and turns with unwavering resolve.